Welcome to the Kekawa College of Horticulture, Nasik. Myself, Professor Ines Gogore, Department of Soil Science. Today, we are going to study about the topic soil colloids, general properties of soil colloids, and different types of soil colloids. So let's study soil colloids. What do you mean by soil colloid? The soil particle having a size less than 0.002 millimeter in diameter are called as a clay particles. But the particles which is having size less than 0.001 millimeter in diameter is called as a soil colloid, half than the size of clay particle. That is called as a soil colloids. It has the colloidal state, which refers to two-phase system in which one material is very finely divided and dispersed through second phase. That is solid in liquid, dispersion of clay in water, and liquid in glass. But we want to just ensure the soil colloids having size less than 0.001 millimeter is referred as a soil colloid. Then we are going to study what are general properties of soil colloids. The general properties of soil colloids, that is size. There is a question arising in your semester end examination that enlist different general properties of soil colloids, means listing of these properties, only listening, and if there is a question, explain any one in detail, then you can give an explanation of one property. Okay, size. Number one, size. 2, surface area. 3, surface charges. 4, absorption of cations. Then 5th, absorption of water. Then number 6, adhesion. 7, cohesion. 8, swelling and shrinkage. Then 9, dispersion and flocculation. 10, Brownian movement. And 11, non-permeability. Okay. What is size? The size is of colloidal particle that we already know that it is less than 0.01 millimeter in diameter, possesses colloidal properties. What do you mean by colloidal properties? These are always in a state of oscillation or continuous movement. Because of small size, they are in continuous of motion. That motion is called as a Brownian movement. They travel, collide with one another, and change moment, and continuously oscillating. That is called as a Brownian movement. Then surface area. It possesses higher surface area compared to their size. Surface charges. What are surface charges of colloidal soil colloids? The soil colloid usually carries negative electrical charge. It is due to isomorphous substitution of another element, isomorphous substitution of one cation to another because of its ionic radius, ionic size, then dominance of monocation, then adsorption of cations. What do you mean by adsorption of cation? Adsorption means adsorption is at the surface. Adsorption of cations, it is due to negative electrical charge of solid colloidal clay which attracts positively charged ion, that is called as the cations. Then adsorption of water. Adsorption of water is at the surface. Then adhesion. What do you mean by adhesion? Adhesion means attraction between dissimilar particles, that is soil to water. Then cohesion, attraction between similar particles, soil to soil, that is called as a cohesion. Swelling and shrinkage. Soil particle, colloidal particle swells by absorbing soil moisture and shrink when soil moisture is lost or evaporated. It is called as a swelling and shrinkage. Then dispersion and flocculation. Dispersion means dispersion of cations and anions by sodium, that is called as one of the most dispersing agent. We disperse all other cations from colloidal clay surface and takes place of that cations possessing dominance of potassium, and which results in production of saline soil and alkaline soil. Then what is flocculation? Flocculation means aggregation, means combination of soil aggregates, means blocks, formation of blocks. Soil aggregates come closer, bind together by aluminum hydroxides, and organic matter as a binding agent, and which gives aggregation. Phenomenon of aggregation is called as flocculation. Then Brownian movement I have already explained. Then types of soil colloid. There are four major types of soil colloid present in soil. That is layer silicate clays. What are layer silicate clays? We are going to study in detail. Then iron and aluminum oxide clays, that is called as a sesquioxide clays. And number 3, allophane and associated amorphous clays. And number 4, that is organic soil colloid, that is referred as humus. It is dark black, rather resistant structure called as a humus. Then silicate, layer silicate clays. Silica, to study layer silicate clays, it is having 3 to 4. It is having 3 types: 1:1 soil structure, 2:1, and 2:1:1. The example of 1:1 soil structure, that is kaolinite. 2:1, that is montmorillonite, smectatelite, vermiculite, and 2:1:1 is chloride. So to study this layer silicate, which has a typical structure, if you find in during summer season, the soil get cracked, and the cracks are having typical structure, that is having hexagonal structure. Cracks are in the form of hexagonal. Why these cracks are in the form of hexagon? Because of these layer silicate clays, typically smectite, having hexagon-like structure, that is called as a alumina octahedride, which we are going to study about, which gives hexagonal cracks because of presence of smectite layer silicate clay. It is called as mineral. Okay, what is silica tetrahedron? When one silicon atom is surrounded by 4 oxygen atoms, it giving rise to tetrahedral structure, that is called as silica tetrahedron. And formation of continuous sheet is called a tetrahedral sheet, silica tetrahedral sheet. Then what is aluminum octahedron? When one silicon atom is surrounded by six oxygen atom or hydroxyl group, that is OH minus group, giving rise to eight-sided building block that is termed as octahedron. That is typical structure of smectite, that is octahedral sheet. And formation of continuous sheet, one aluminum octahedron is gets linked to another aluminum octahedron, giving rise to aluminum octahedral sheet. Okay. Then kaolinite, that is called as a non-expanding type of mineral. It is a 1:1 type. What do you mean by 1:1 type? It has one silica tetrahedral sheet combined with one alumina octahedral sheet, and joining these sheets together will give rise to kaolinite. The bonding between oxygen and hydroxyl atom is tight hydrogen bonding, which does not allow moisture to enter. So it is called as a non-expansive type, non-expanding type. So kaolinite is one of the non-expanding type of mineral. Then let us study about twist-1 structure. Twist-1, what do you mean by twist-1? One octahedral sheet is sandwiched between two tetrahedral sheet, giving rise to twist-1 structure. Sorry, twist-1 structure. And this continuous formation is called as giving rise to twist-1 type of structure. These are usually expanding types because bonding is not tight hydrogen bonding as we seen in kaolinite, is which allows entering moisture, so it becomes swell when wet and shrink when dry. When I give example of smectite, that is a typical expanding type, which on swelling increase in shape, and after shrinking means after loss of moisture, we see usually hexagonal cracks due to these alumina octahedral sheets because of weak hydrogen bonding, which allows moisture to enter and swell the clay, and swelling in size and shrinking when it becomes dry or lose moisture. Okay, I think you all understand this particular phenomenon, absorption. Then second type, iron and aluminum oxide clays. These are sesquioxide minerals or metal oxides, which are a mixture of aluminum hydroxide and iron oxide or iron hydroxides, which have lower solubility, are called as sesquioxides. These are under conditions of extensive leaching. Leaching means escaping from root zone. After escaping from root zone, these clays become leachable by rainfall and long time in humid warm climates. It's called as iron and aluminum oxide clays. Then third type, allophane and other amorphous minerals. They are amorphous in nature, usually found in common in soils forming from volcanic ash, that is called as allophane, typical example. Then these clays are having high anion exchange capacity or high cation exchange capacity is a typical function. Then last, that is organic colloid, that is referred as humus. Humus, after decomposition of organic matter, it leads to formation of humus. What is humus? Humus is amorphous, dark brown to black, nearly insoluble in water, but mostly soluble in dilute alkali such as NaOH or KOH. It is a temporary intermediate product left after considerable decomposition of plant and animal remains or decomposition after organic matter. The negative charges of humus are associated with hydroxyl group and carboxyl group. It is all about soil colloids, general properties, and types of soil colloid. Thank you very much. We will going to see next topic in the next lecture. Till then, watch it carefully. Thank you.